because those sleeves look mighty familiar.
Oh, okay. So we're getting our Vulpix sleeves back? Is that what we have?
Yep. Yeah. Those have stood out. They've been the talk of the town this round.
Vulpix sleeves are familiar. That, oh man, I can't remember his name. That's the worst part, is that we've been doing this all day. All I remember is Vulpix sleeves.
There's no excuse at this point.
All right, so we have Adam. Yeah, so it's Adam and Ryan. So Adam is our, I believe is our Vulpix sleeves, if I remember correctly now.
I think you're right.
And he is on the Amber Steel mid-range deck.
Gotcha. Let's see how this does this time around.
So he's 1-on-1. He's 1-on-1 on stream already, so he's been around.
Yeah, so maybe the whole nerves thing at this point, you already got it out of your system. He's ready to go.
Yeah, like, this is third time on stream. That should be a non-factor at this point.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have this Amber Steel, and then our other player is Ryan. There are multiple Ryans, so give me a moment.
No problem. I mean, we have a little bit of time. Players are still sorting out their mulligans, getting the shuffles done, so no real rush.
All right, so Ryan is on Emerald Amethyst.
Emerald Amethyst.
Emerald Amethyst.
All
right. So it's I'd say like a mid-rangey control-ish thing going on. He's got Rafikis, he's got Zeus's, and then he has like the big, all the good 5-ofs.
Turn 1 Lilo coming out after a turn 1 pass.
So now, this deck, it does have Rafiki. So it has Rafikis, but like aside from that, it doesn't have a lot of great ways to deal with that card early. And tapping your Flynn to attack a Lilo is definitely not what you want to be utilizing Flynn for. But if we see the
turn 2
Zimba,
that's going to be even worse.
Right. Like if we see the Zimba come in here, it's going to be pretty big. It's going to be a very, very strong representation for this deck very early. So we just get double Lilo. That's
all
fine.
Right.
Followed by
baby.
Okay. All
right. We're putting our foot on the gas.
Yeah. This is like Rafiki or fall so far behind in the game. It's going to be scary.
Yeah. So that's a quick quest for 2. Adam taking the early lead, obviously.
Yeah. Adam's up to 2. We're falling behind. We only have 2 Rafikis in the deck, so if we can't find them, it's going to be difficult.
That's not knowing you need to mulligan for that Rafiki is kind of scary. Like this is game 1. You don't necessarily know that they're going to come out this aggressive.
Probably. This is round 6. You've been able to walk around the tables. You have an understanding of what people are playing. So hard to say, but we'll see. We have a Maleficent. We're just going to be behind here. He's going to be really eaten up here. He doesn't have AoE. We're going to move to 6 lore already with just our one cost characters. It's going to be really powerful.
Yeah. Especially if, again, Simba's still a threat here that could serve those Lilos even further.
All right. So that's fine. So we're going to move all the way up to 6.
Yep.
And we play our tank, and we're going to move forward with life and just continue this pressure. Because this is another situation where it's like Maleficent can't sing, right? Like she has to challenge.
You cannot take a turn off here.
Yeah, so you can't just let your opponent go to 11 like before they play a card on turn 4. So that's the real scary thing here is, he can't even utilize this Maleficent to the fullest. Do we have a Zeus? Do we have some fire?
I feel like if you had the Rafiki or Zeus, that comes down pretty quickly, right? Like you're just killing that right now.
All right, so we have a Jasper.
I mean, you're digging out of this hole, but it's still a pretty deep hole at this point. Or maybe not.
Is that a freeze? So he befuddles. So he bounces it back to his hand. That's very interesting. The thing about the befuddle, in all honesty, now granted, it saves you a time for turn. So we get to kill and then just lore, I guess. We'll do 1 damage to Jasper and then we'll just lore for 2. Yeah, I guess that's fine. The interesting thing about Lilo here is that probably as long as we can get it on the table before turn 6 or 7, You're going to get another 2 lore out of that character. What just happened?
That there must have been a what's the wheel?
Did he play? Okay, I never saw it. That's all. Okay.
Yeah, it must be at the bottom of that stack.
Interesting.
A whole new world. I couldn't think of the name.
Yeah. I never even saw the card, so that's why I got confused. Okay. All right. So
we saw this in earlier rounds. The players are trying to make sure they're not going to time. They're playing very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me because he was in pretty good position in the game. I feel like he could have waited.
I agree. I don't think that was necessary.
So now we just get Tink. I mean, I guess this isn't the worst thing ever. Like, you're clear the board. You get to start your opening turn, with 4 resources and a full 8 cards.
Yeah, the wheel.
And your opponent has nothing. So that's good. It's not, it's not the worst thing ever. So this is what I've seen him. He's done this a few times throughout the day now. And I feel like if this is what we're utilizing Be Our Guest for, we're kind of struggling in general. Whereas with those 5 resources, I much would have rather just played 2 cards this turn. And then next turn
you can see what's in hand, but I agree there has to be something to be played. Like, I don't.
Yeah. So I actually really dislike the bodyguard here. Your opponent has Rafiki. Your opponent has Zeus.
There's literally no reason to do that.
Yeah, I find very little reason to play bodyguard here.
Oh no!
Like, you might just offer up a play that you didn't even know you were doing, and we have it. Like, he has Zeus, or Rafiki. He has both of them. So
just debating which is the more appropriate one.
Like, thank you for giving me a lore. Yeah, not a particular fan of that play.
Ouchtown Population Simba, I guess. Hardcast Friends.
That's another one. I guess it's okay if you're not doing anything else this turn, but you also could have just. I mean, I guess you can't rely on Rafiki being there against Steel, so maybe it's fine.
Yeah. So what's the follow-up here? We're going to get another Be Our Guest.
I guess that wheel was just not. That wheel was not kind to him.
No. But like you said earlier, I think it probably was unnecessary at that stage.
Yeah. I mean, in particular here, we've picked up a Tinkerbell and a Rapunzel off of it, and we haven't played a single character, that we've picked up. Like, that doesn't feel like it's something I would really want to be doing.
I mean, you have the Tinkerbell. You could just get it later.
Right. Like, you would have just got it next turn. So, like, you're kind of like really wasting resources. He's playing very fast here. He's not revealing his cards. He might be a little bit frustrated with the whole new world. It doesn't seem very good. In that turn, his turn was literally resource, Be Our Guest, get a card I couldn't play, and then fire the cannons. So not exactly
what you want to write home about.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one to walk away with.
Despite the explosive start, it's giving their opponent a whole lot of time to do whatever they want. To be perfectly honest,
that's why I really didn't like the wheel. You had a commanding position in the game. You could have just replayed, several cards the following turn for Tink and just make your opponent have to have answers to what you were doing already, and instead you just refilled your opponent's 7 cards, and you totally whiffed.
Right. And now your opponent has gotten first act. Well, you have the answer for the Hans, but they were able to play the first threat at this stage.
Right.
Third Lilo.
And obviously the Zimbo was also a rough loss for you.
Just discard a card. Pay 2 resources, discard a card.
All right. Well, Lilo can't quest now, so she's useless. Or no, she has to challenge if able.
Correct.
So I guess she can't challenge, so it's fine.
Well, they can't quest and must challenge if able, so I think she can't do it either.
Okay. Yeah, which is bad. Like, the Lilo at this point is just not going to do anything. Because he gets the quest. Say the Lilo can't quest again.
Yep.
And if it challenges, it has to run into something. I guess you could force the Tinkerbell into trading with John Silver.
Right.
But, neither here nor there. because now this Tinkerbell is definitely going to run into the John Silver, finish off Archimedes, and then Lilo gets to live, fortunately.
Do we have any follow-up after this? I don't. It's still a lot of cards. There's a ton of options available, not necessarily right this second, but in general.
He did get on the board with the John Silver. John Silver's
two-lord?
Yeah, he's two-lord.
He's two.
Haven't seen a whole lot of him today. So that was an inked befuddle. It's a follow-up with a Cusco?
Cusco. All right, so there's a lot of pressure on the board.
I thought he only had 4 there. Oh, he does 5. Okay. The white are blending in very well.
Yes.
So we still have a million cards, right? I mean, like, a Grab Your Swords here isn't the worst card ever.
Yeah, it actually clears a significant number of things.
Oof.
Is that a third Be Our Guest?
Our third Be Our Guest that we hardcast it. So what are we finding? We find Rapunzel. So I'm okay with this because, like, our Tinkerbell gets to attack John Silver, take 4, and then I get to Rapunzel, remove 3, and draw 3 cards.
Right.
That's about the most exciting
Rapunzel, thing. Correct?
What?
That's the second Rapunzel, correct?
Yeah, he has 2 of them, yeah. But this is definitely the most... Now,
wait.
Sure. Oh, no, I didn't like that at all.
No, I'm with you.
Not when I can draw 3 cards and put another 2-lore character in play. Definitely not a fan of that particular play there.
Could have killed the Maleficent if you really wanted to anyway.
Right. Like I guess he's going to do this anyway, and he's going to get rid of Archimedes. I believe that is alive. Oh, no, he has 5 power. Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's right. So he didn't get the trait. I'm sorry. I messed up on the numbers there.
Okay.
But the smash still feels unnecessary. In all honesty, the John Silver had 1. I would have rather ran the Lilo into it with the smash rather than running the Tinkerbell into it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The Lilo is not really. It's not applying enough pressure at this board. It's not going to apply enough pressure.
We get to 5, so now we have 6. Adam's at 6. Ryan's at 5. But he's representing a lot of lore. And we get
is Rockstar going to dig you out of this hole?
So Leo goes to 7. It depends on how many cards in his hand. I mean, obviously, he could have 3 or 4 1 or 2 cost cards.
Yeah, just flood the board.
But we know he has multiple Rapunzels. The good news is that, well, actually, not even that good news. The Stitch can't trade really that well. That was a pretty good draw there. And the worst part is the Stitch can't even get value from doing damage to that. So it's not like you can Stitch, put damage on, and then Rapunzel. I was going to say he can't quest there with Jasper. And he's going to gain a fair amount of lore here. What's that? 6 lore he just gains. So he goes to 11, I believe.
That's a lot. Yeah, 11 is.
And then he follows up with another draw.
And obviously Jasper's targeting the Stitch. So the big question now is, where are you sending it? Just presumably you're sending it.
This is another Sing. Is this a... Oh, we are attacking. So we're attacking a Jasper is my guess. I don't know. He might have to attack Cusco. Okay. So he puts 2 on. What's he going to do? So the problem now is we can't play Grab Your Sword. So since we can't play Grab Your Sword, I think we just lose the game. Because we have, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 lore. That's the game, right? Like he's just on 11
or 5. Yeah, they're counting it up right now.
Yeah, he just turns it sideways and wins the game. Yeah,
and that's the ball game, folks.
Yeah, that is the second time today that A Whole New World has absolutely costed him a matchup or a game. Aside from the Whole New World, there were at least a couple of other things that seemed, we'll call it questionable through the course of that game. Yeah, the Zimba for Bodyguard there was just no reason for it. offering it up to even giving your opponent the opportunity to utilize their rush character, knowing that they're a rush deck, is just not something that we, that's a lesson learned that hopefully we don't make that mistake again.
Yeah. You definitely need to internalize that one, because otherwise it's going to be a very painful lesson to relearn.
Yeah. It was a very, very interesting choice. But I guess my problem again is like he was ahead in the game and he was, in good position, and the whole new world just felt so very unnecessary. And then obviously he very much whiffed, which did not help at all.
Absolutely.
Like even in a world where I guess I don't know how many be our guests were in his opening hand, but it would have been at least 7 cards away, so you wouldn't have been doing it. It just feels like this deck can't afford to take that many turns off and just not do anything. I mean, after the whole new world, he just had no follow-up.
Absolutely.
At all.
It was just stunning that, I don't know. We were talking about this offline, but it would be nice to interview the players, speak to them and say, okay, well, what was the line that you were thinking of here? Because obviously these players aren't just, slinging it for the hell of it. They're doing it because, okay, I'm going to do this and then follow up with the expectation that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I'm just not seeing exactly what that X, Y, and Z is from here.
Yeah, it was just a tough one. But we assume he's on the play again and see if we get more early Lilos.
Now, we mentioned it in the first game, but presumably our Emerald Amethyst player now is hard mulliganing for some of those Rafikis, some of those Zeuses to try and combat the early aggression or the potential early aggression.
I wonder why, I guess in particular, the hook over the Stitch.
I don't have the answer to that question.
Okay.
I really don't.
But like the Stitch trades with that Archimedes and the hook doesn't, so it feels bad. All right, well, goodbye, dog Stitch again.
Stitch.
Yeah, this might just be a... Okay. There's Lilo.
Oh, we're going for it. +1 lore. Third Stitch. Fair enough.
3 stitches it's a lot of stitches.
So I assume our Amber Steel player is thinking I just have to get there early on.
He just has to survive. And this is exactly how you're going to do it. He's going to make these favorable trades. He gets up on card advantage right there. The Cruella even representing as a 1/3 that can, if he wants to, just
gonna eat the Lilo. Just
eat Lilo and still have 2 willpower left over. It's not nothing. We're getting rid of the chicken. Hey in the ink.
All right, Simba coming down and actually wait.
Did we not bodyguard this time?
Oh,
okay. All right. His opponent
they probably said it and just didn't exert it. Is what happened. But we did end up getting a 3 lore gain there.
But even here, like if we just have Rafiki, right? Do we have Rafiki?
Yep.
We do. So we just clear the board.
Wow.
Like, just flat out clear the board. Go home happy. And yeah, just move on with life. It's a pretty good turn.
Yeah, this is looking like a pretty clean textbook showing here.
Sadly, this is looking at the game that like I'm gonna need a whole new world to do something.
Right.
But we have a Be Our Guest again. This is never good, in all honesty. Like,
oh no, yeah, we saw this last game. If you're taking time off doing this, especially getting something that you're not going to be able to play for a couple turns.
Now, granted, his opponent's not pressuring. His opponent has 2 lore. It's not like he has 5 lore.
True.
So there is time in the game to do it and come back. It's just the ability that, like, on this turn, playing a 4-cost card that had 2 lore would have put you in a better position in the game.
Yeah, some way to actually interact with your opponent, if nothing else.
Right, because now we have this 3/3 that represents 3 lore, and all of a sudden, my 2 lore clock got turned to a 5 lore clock, and you don't have you have smash and things like that. But if you're smashing, that means you're not.
You're also not developing a board.
Right. You're not developing your board whatsoever.
Another Lilo. Not exactly the board you want to develop. Wait, really? Lilo pass?
I think he only has 1 or 2 cards in his hand.
Yeah, I agree.
So
we're at 4-2 at the moment.
Yeah,
we're just sending.
So we just go to 5. We go up to 7, right?
Yep.
And we're representing 8 more next turn.
You have like maybe a 1-turn window. Oh, there was a second tank. Okay. It's at least something.
I mean, so Ryan has 5. Now
the damage there. What's happening?
Yeah. So now Adam has 6. So it's a tight game, but like Ryan has a 2-4 with Ward and a 3-3. They all have damage on them, obviously.
Yeah.
And I guess the good thing here is that Tink can. Oof, that's pretty good. Tink can effectively remove Cusco and Hans next turn by herself. I think I'm okay with that trade.
Yeah, I think that's
reasonable. You get 5, so we're gonna go to 12 here, or 13. Oh, it's 6. I'm sorry, it was 6. So yeah, so it goes to 13, and then he just has John Silver. So
right.
Now, granted, again, the Tink is going to be able to run into Cusco and get rid of Hans, which is great, but he still has a John Silver left behind now. So the Cusco no Chachi is missed.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was waiting to see if they...
Yep, so no Touchy was missed here.
That's kind of a big deal.
For what it's worth, it is Yume. So
it's a May. Oh no!
For what it's worth,
not like this.
It is Yume. So I will give it there.
That's a May ability. Yeah, that is a legal game state.
But it is legitimately a miss for sure by Ryan. So he goes to 15. Or no, he doesn't. Sorry, he stays at 13. But he gets rid of Tinkerbell. And then says the Rapunzel can't quest and has a challenge, so that's good.
Right.
Oh, I think they're maybe trying to go back to the no touchy trade. Again, it's really tough. It's hard to say. It is a Yume ability, so at this point, we're so far ahead that resetting feels wrong. In all honesty, which I think is what they got. They got around it. So we have this Rapunzel has to attack into this into this John Silver, which feels bad because she's just going to go away.
Admittedly, the John Silver will as well.
Yeah.
It's the silver lining.
All right. Okay. So that's one way around it. So he gets the grab your sword, puts 2 on the Coost, and then now he can't quest, right? John Silver is.
I'm looking at it right now. Gain reckless.
It gains reckless. So that card is not allowed to quest. So he should not be able to gain the 2 lore there. So then Cusco is going to send it. He goes up to 16, I believe, and now he just represents win on board unless we have a way to get rid of this Cusco.
Yep. Which there are options, but.
Tinkerbell is not one of them.
That would be correct.
Oh, no, Tinkerbell is one of them. So Tinkerbell is fine because then the Rapunzel runs into Cusco.
Oh, true.
But now here again, so
at the top there.
This time we do get the trigger, so Cusco removes a Rapunzel. But now we just have this gigantic Giant Silver that is going to get us to 18 at the very least. It's going to keep... Tink's going to have to run into it. Or we'll just Genie. That's fine, too.
That seems good.
Yep. So we'll just go up to 18 and then represent the win right there. I don't think there's anything that we can play to get out of that one.
No, not without, I don't know, 6 more resources maybe.
Yeah. Are we going to whole new world again?
Why not?
I mean, I guess if he has grab your sword, no. Grab your sword and some... Nope. He just can't do it. He's just too low.
That's honestly like double swords was what I was thinking if they had a ton of more resources. But yeah, it's just not. Oh,
right. But he's on 18, so the game is still over because Genie is just 2 lore.
Exactly.
Okay.
GG.
Tough one. So congrats to Ryan. He definitely just made top 8
for sure,
which is great. I believe his name is Ryan Link. So congrats to Ryan Link. Some of the other players that we are pretty sure are 4 of which we know are in top 8 are Jonathan Ball,